Hi, I'm Omid from Phoenix English. In this important lesson, I'm going to show you how to use three very common prepositions correctly in English. And they are at, on, and in. We are going to learn a method which is called triangle method. When these prepositions refer to places, to place, not time, but place. So let's see how it works. So here we have the triangle, and you can see at the top, on in the middle, and in at the bottom. Okay, so what does that mean? So here we want to show that at is used when we are talking about very specific places. For example, when we are talking about the name of a restaurant, at Starbucks, at McDonald's, and so on. Or when we are giving a specific address, at 25 Main Street. Okay, so you have the number, not only the street, not only the city, but the specific number of the building and the street, at 25 Main Street. Or we say a specific place, like at JFK Airport. And even if it's not with a name, it could just say at the airport, at the office, right? At the library, at the supermarket. You see that it's very specific, and that's why we use at in those very specific situations. Alright, got that? Now let's look at the second one. So the second one is on. On we use for a little bit more than a very specific place. It's a little bit wider. For example, we see here on a street, or a highway, or a floor. So we see on Main Street, on Route 66, on the 6th floor. Okay? So somebody lives on Main Street. I drive to work on Route 66. I work on the 6th floor. So we see that it's a little bit wider than that specific place. Little bit wider tends to often be horizontal kind of places. Next, we come to in. So this is for everything more, okay? So in is used for large areas. For example, we say in Los Angeles. Well, let's look first at what the categories are. So large areas, such as a city, a state, a country, a continent, or just a large area. For example, we could say, he lives in Los Angeles. She lives in California. They live in the US, in North America, in the world. Okay? So what do we see here? That in is the broadest. It's the widest. And then on is a little bit less. And at is very specific. Have you got that? Let's find out when we do a little quiz where we're going to practice using these very common prepositions, at, on, and in. Okay? Because we use these all the time. We use them in writing, we use them in speaking. And if you have a mistake in this, then you're going to have lots of mistakes. So let's get it right and let's practice with a little quiz. Okay. So before we get started, let me just tell you that there are two ways that you could do this with me. One is if you'd like a little more time to think about the answer, then just pause the video and you can see all of the exercises. So stop it, write down the answers, think about it, and then you can follow me as I go through it. Or if you feel like you can do it right away, then join me right now. Okay, let's get started. So again, your options are what? At for something very specific, on for something a little bit wider, and in for the largest areas of all. Number 1. Blank, Tokyo. What do we say there? It should be in Tokyo. Why? Because Tokyo is a city and it's a large place. So we said that for large places we use in. Next, hill road. Blank, hill road. I live, blank, hill road. What would you say there? Okay, I live on hill road. So we said at is the specific one. On is for things, like also the horizontal kind of places, like roads and streets and rivers. The places like that. The floor that you live on, we say on. Number 3. Blank, Brazil. She lives, blank, Brazil. What would you choose for that one? She lives in Brazil. Okay? Again, Brazil is very wide, right? It's a big place. So we want the widest option, which is in. All right? In Brazil. And for cities, countries, remember continents, large areas of land. We're also in the world. Number 4. Blank, 40 Park Avenue. They live, blank, 40 Park Avenue. What's that one? Is that specific or is it wide? 40 Park Avenue. Sounds very specific to me. So if it's specific, then you would say what? At. Okay, they live at 40 Park Avenue. Very good. All right. Now let's look at some sentences. We're staying, blank, the Moon Hotel. What should it be? Think about it in terms of how specific it is. And in this case, it's again very specific. So we say, we are staying at the Moon Hotel. Good. Next. He works, blank, Burger King, blank, Bay Street. Yes, it happens that very often in the same sentence we have more than one preposition. But the same rules apply. You can still use this triangle method to help you figure out the answer. Let's take it step by step. He works, blank, Burger King. So, is that a specific place or something very large or something medium size? It's a specific place. So here we would say, he works at Burger King. And then we have Bay Street. What do you think that would be? On Bay Street. He works at Burger King on Bay Street. Next, number 7. She lives, blank, 265 Queen Street, blank, London. Once again, we have more than one preposition. She lives at, very specific, at 265 Queen Street, and then London. Okay, this is a city, so we want to say in London. All right, so how did you do on those? Did you get them all right? If you did, congratulations. If you had to think a little bit or you got some of them wrong, that's no problem. Prepositions are confusing at times, but at least you have now some sort of guidelines to help you. Now, I still want to say that even when we are talking about place though, at, on, and in, sometimes are not used exactly in the ways that I've explained here. But this triangle method does help for lots of different places. Don't forget to subscribe, and that way you'll have access to lots of other lessons which I think will help you to learn English faster and hopefully a little more successfully. So thanks very much for watching. I wish you all the best, especially with these lovely prepositions. Bye for now.